welcome to my 60-minute Vinyasa style yoga class. My name is Shym, and I have been practicing a yogic path for about 5 years now. Today is unlike any other day in that it is unique. Your experience of today, my experience of today, what has brought us to this exact moment is unlike any other moment and the next moment. So I say this because I want to invite that you are present with your practice today. In all that I say is simply a suggestion, but you will listen to your body and your needs today, no matter what. So this is your guide. This is a time for you and your practice to practice. I'm simply here to help facilitate a space for that, and part of that means you show up for you, and I encourage you to do so. So this will be a beginner level, fairly easy class with a slight build of intensity, some maybe intermediate moments or suggestions, and as always, you can always come back to your breath and recenter yourself at any point you find your mind wandering, or perhaps there's some anxiety, or if you need to leave the room because you feel unsafe, or just a moment where you just feel that's what you need, please take that. So that is the space today, and I thank you for coming. I thank you for watching, and we will begin in whatever may be a comfortable seat for you. If you have access to a bolster like I do, or a cushion or a blanket, if you'd like to be kneeling like this, or any way that feels good for your body to begin to rest and ground, then that position is wonderful for the start of class today. If you'd like, you may close the eyes, or you may keep them open. You may slowly bring them into a soft focus if that feels nice for you, but the intention here, no matter what you're doing with your eyes, is to begin to look inward and listen. So let's take a moment and observe our breath. And when I say observe, which I may say over and over again throughout the practice, what I mean is that there's no direction for you to go into or something to change. It's as if we are observing a tree. There's nothing to do, just a tree and us, the witness to this tree's presence. So this is how we will begin to treat our breath and our experience today. We'll ride upon the breath. You may notice as you connect with your breath that it is tangibly filling one space or another. Perhaps it's filling your chest, maybe one side more than the other. Perhaps the belly, there's some movement here. There's no need to think about it. Just observing, letting the breath exist on its own without influencing it. We notice our seat on the ground, or on the bolster or cushion or blanket. We may be touching our heels. Just noticing where the body is touching the floor, or touching whatever is touching the floor. Noticing the pressure. Noticing any feeling of tension or discomfort here. You might move up from the base of the spine just to the lower back and notice how you are being kept, held in place here as you breathe. There may be some tension, there may be almost nothingness. You may not even be able to feel into this part. We just gently send our attention here, moving up into the mid-spine, the lumbar region of the back. Noticing if our breath is tangible here for us. When I say tangible, I mean, can we really sense that it is going there? Do we sense it with the lumbar? Can the lumbar sense the breath? Can we bring our attention there? We move on up to behind the heart space. Not adjusting anything still, just noticing the rise and fall of the chest perhaps, notifying the back, or through the back we notice the chest. I invite you to be playful with these concepts today, not think about them too hard. If something doesn't make sense, don't spend time dwelling on it. If something feels right, embrace it, not attaching to it, not trying to figure anything out. We notice the cervical spine, the neck we usually identify with. Notice any tension here. Notice if we can even feel the breath moving down the esophagus in that neck region. Is there any expansion here? And we take slightly deeper breaths. This is the first moment we're beginning to influence our breath. And I invite you to invite your breath. Again, it's the difference between forcing it and invitation to participate. So we invite the breath a little bit deeper, maybe some longer inhales matching the exhales in length. In through the nose, out through the nose, or if you need to, out through the mouth, whatever feels right for you now. Not forcing any breaths in, but waiting for them to enter you, to feed you for your practice today. Noticing that with each breath, as we focus on the breath, a sense of presence, a listening can happen here. It's not often we take time to listen alone and listen to ourselves alone, let alone in a group setting. So I invite you to listen, breathing in deeply, exhaling fully. Begin to feed in an intention or a space for an intention to develop through our practice today. Perhaps even something has already come to mind, and we can hold this intention or space for an intention to come in our heart space. You might put your hands on your heart, one on top of the other. You might just simply bring your focus here. Maybe a prayer position with your hands at the heart. Making space for listening today. This is the practice of yoga. No matter where you are, what you are doing, you may be doing yoga when you listen and connect with the breath. And we'll all together, for the sake of community, take a deep inhale now, and a deep exhale out of the mouth. 2 more. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. Perhaps some phonation, some sound comes out. Inhale deeply, and letting out a sigh on your exhale, if it happens. we begin to rub the hands together softly, creating some friction and warmth. You may sway a little bit side to side, just gentle movements beginning to introduce into the body. This helps connect the left and right sides of the body. In yoga, the point is to invite balance to the practice, knowing that we are not balanced, just inviting the experience of it to our practice. Rubbing the hands a little bit faster, and then bringing them intuitively to touch a body part that needs it now. Go ahead, intuitively, don't overthink it. Could be anywhere, even could be nowhere. And we breathe into our hands the body parts that they're touching with the intention or the holding of space that we've cultivated today. And we can always come back here. In fact, we never leave here if we choose not to. Our physical practice that we'll continue with here today is simply a permutation of this breath connection in motion. And we let the hands come to rest on the knees or on the laps or side of the body, and just begin to invite some intuitive, slow movements through the spine, starting with the base, as if we're almost just rubbing or drawing upon the surface we're sitting with the base of our spine and letting that motion ripple up through the spine. Maybe forward and backward, side to side, circular motions. The only thing here we focus on is the quality of this movement and embracing the fullness of our practice today with each motion. And returning, going the other way, almost retracing the steps we've made so far, just in the opposite direction, inviting balance here to the practice. You might begin to play with the shoulders, rolling them up and back and down slowly, really still connecting with the breath. It's as if the breath creates movement instead of movement on top of the breath. And then bringing them forward, down and back, maybe one at a time, as if you're paddling a canoe or a kayak with your shoulders, and reversing. And then letting the chin drop to the chest, keeping the spine tall. Releasing the spine around the back muscles, or the back muscles around the spine rather. Here we begin to slowly breathe in and taking our right ear to the right shoulder. Just softly letting the mouth hang open here and exhaling back towards the center. Inhaling left ear to left shoulder. Exhaling to center slowly. And following this motion a few more times with your breath. Inhale ear to shoulder. Waiting for the exhale, exhaling to the center. Taking the full inhales and exhales to complete these motions. And on your next swing to the left and back into center, rest in the center. Breathing into the cervical spine here. Just letting the head hang, feeling that. And after your next full exhale, on your inhale, slowly bringing the hands up past the shoulders, ear, head, and reaching to the ceiling. Maybe opening up the heart, maybe even looking to the ceiling. Not too much of an arch, just engaging along the spines and up the arms. Finding strength here, breathing in and extending the arms just energetically. Exhaling, feeling a sense of rooting. Inhale, extend, letting the shoulders come away from the ears, relax. and still finding energy through the arms. In your next inhale, reaching high, and then exhaling, bringing the hands down to the sides, to the ground, slowly touching with the fingertips, maybe give them a little pat against the earth. And from here, we're going to do a few cat-cows. On our cow, we will inhale, bringing the heart forward, the chin up, tucking the tailbone back, and exhaling, heart comes backward, tailbone tucks forward, chin comes to chest. Inhale, cow, chest comes forward, tailbone points back, chin up, exhale, cat, just like a cat would. Curl its spine inward. Full exhale and then full inhale. Slow with the motion here, just warming up the body, especially the spine here. You might begin to use the arms to aid in this motion. If you have the space, letting them come out to the side. Full extension forward and backward. You might cactus them if you have less room. Letting them close and open like the pages of a book. And after your next full exhale, inhaling to a neutral sitting spine. When inhale and exhale, feeling this difference, the quality here. Now that the spine is beginning to warm, moving from the spine outward to the extremities is how we'll work today. I encourage you to embrace this in all your movements. We'll inhale the arms up to the ceiling again here. This time, open the arms and twist to the right. From the base of the spine to the neck. Not much force here, just a simple twist with the abdominal muscles. Not pulling, not forcing, just meeting your twist where it's at right now in this moment. The head might look backward, might look forward or to the side, whatever feels good for you now. And on the inhales, we're extending our spine long upward and downward, and on the exhales, tightening the muscles around the spine to aid our twist. Not that we must go deeper, but simply that we're stabilizing, and this can invite twist. One more inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale, slowly undoing the twist, sweeping the arms up. Inhale, and exhaling, twisting to the left. Same twist here. Simple and easy. Not forcing anything. The right hand may rest on the right leg or on the left leg, whatever feels good here. May even come to the heart center. And in twists, we always want to keep the spine long, so remembering on the inhales to elongate the spine up and down. And exhaling, strengthening the muscles, engaging them around the spine, all the way from the bottom, sacral vertebra, all the way to the top, cervical. A few more inhales and exhales here. One more, actually. On your next full exhale and inhale, we will bring our arms up as we slowly untwist. And exhale, hands come through heart center. Now moving forward onto the knees, if you can here, onto our mats, coming to a 4-point tabletop position. And begin moving to some more dynamic movements. Let's go ahead and untuck the toes. Strong hands underneath the shoulder blades, spreading the fingers wide. Knees come under our hips here. The navel suctions in to the spine hugs in towards the navel. Shoulder blades back and down. Gaze directly down or slightly in front of us. It's as if we're pushing away from the ground with every part that's touching it and suctioning in to the spine, supporting our table. So if someone were to come sit on us, or we were to put a book it would lie flat and stable. We're going to do a few wrist stretches, and we're going to want to make sure we engage all of our muscles the entire time we're here. We're beginning to warm up, and part of our warm-up is to create synovial fluid with movement and to create a safe space for our bones and muscles to exist as we stretch them dynamically. So when we engage our muscles around these bones, we are providing a safe space for them to stretch instead of just hanging out on top of the bones or in our ligaments connecting our bones to muscles. So we take up the right hand and point our right fingers back towards our right knee. We can bend the elbow here a little bit to make sure we're not overextending, hyperextending the wrist, or the elbow, I'm sorry. Press into both the left and right as if nothing's changed. We just happen to be facing our right hand backward and getting a little wrist stretch. Flexing all fingers here. You may tilt slightly forward, slightly back. You may just stay here prone, but really flexing. You may even act as if you're pressing off the floor. This might be an intense stretch for you here, so take it easy, continuing to breathe and connect with your inhales and exhales. We'll come off of that right wrist and shake it slowly a little bit, and then come onto the top of the right wrist. Again, as if nothing has changed, although this movement may feel unfamiliar. We spread all of the fingers in the right hand, pressing them down the top of the hand to the ground. You might even provide a little inward and external rotation with the elbow. This can really start to engage muscles around our forearms. And we come off that wrist, slowly shake it out a little bit here and come back to our tabletop. We'll go and do the same thing with the left wrist, facing our fingers towards our left knee. And you might bend the elbow, you might not, still strengthening through every inch of our hands. You might slowly shake it out and onto the top of the hand here, pressing down just equally as we would in our regular tabletop. Strong spine, parallel to the ground, and coming off of this wrist, shaking it out slowly back into tabletop. Here, we're going to move our hands, one handprint or two handprints forward, strengthen this is a hasta bandha, it's the hand lock. I'll reference this in our practice today. We'll tuck our back toes, press up into a plank here for a moment. Really start to feel the engaging of the legs, as if they're pressing towards one another inward, like you're closing something in between your legs or scissoring them together. Still feel the shoulder blades back and down. Feel as though your heels are shooting energy to the back of the room here, or back of the mat rather, and your spine is hugging navel to spine. We'll take one deep inhale and exhale here. Inhale to prep for downward dog, and exhale, bending the knees generously and pressing into the hands back up and into downward facing dog, our first ones today. You might pedal it out for a moment since we've been hanging out in the wrists a little bit. You still want to make sure you're strengthening through the hands, but by flexing the feet down and up, we provide a little bit more dynamism in our muscles that we're engaging. And generous bend in the knees still here. We let the head hang. The arms wrapped down and inward towards one another, pressing into all corners of the hands, really letting the belly hang here and the head hang here. One more inhale and exhale. And we'll bring our knees wide, set them on the mat, untuck our toes, they're touching one another, and push back into our child's pose. This is a resting pose just like downward facing dog, and although downward facing dog doesn't seem like a resting pose, it actually is once we can strengthen and tune our bodies into the muscles we can relax and those we can engage. Child's pose is a little bit more of a passive resting pose. So we rest our forehead on the ground, we can extend our arms long, still keeping energy here, and feeding our breath into our belly and lower back, just relaxing farther back. If this is too much for you, even stretching wise, you can put a pillow or a bolster, a blanket underneath or in the crease of your back knee. And this can alleviate a little bit of that stretch that you might start to find in the hips or even pressure in the knees. So this is just for you to recognize. You can always move back into this pose as we begin to really start to fire up our practice today. So you can come here from downward dog, or if you just need to rest here for a cycle of sun salutations, you might. You also can rest in downward dog. Now, we all take a deep inhale, deep exhale out of the mouth. Inhale, coming into tabletop, moving your hands forward, bending the knees, plank, and exhale into downward facing dog. Here we'll inhale, look towards the middle of our hands at the top of the mat, and exhale, slowly walk forward, keeping our hands rooted here. And we hang out here now, keeping our feet about hip width apart for today's practice. If it really feels good for you to have them together, you can have them together, ankles and inner toes touching. But my preference today and what I'll ask is that if you feel comfortable, hip width apart. We pick up the toes, spread them apart, and anchor them down to the mat. We pick up the heels and bring them back as far as we can while keeping the toes locked. Let's set them down, really feeling the pressure in the feet. We're setting up a foundation for our practice today, this bulk maybe 15-minute sections of intensity, so that we really have warmed up the body. We really are moving safely into these more intense practices that can stretch and bring up out of the muscles some of the toxins that we've let seep or steep in them. So that's why we're taking so much time here today. So really generous bend in the knees here. Just letting the neck hang. You might grab both elbows and slowly rock left to right. Maybe nod your head yes or no. Just relieving the spine here. This is technically an inversion. It helps in circulation and really starts to flip our perspective, which is a useful tool in yoga. We'll take an inhale and an exhale here to prep. And then on our next inhale, we'll halfway lift, rolling spine up and out, facing downward, parallel to the ground. Exhale, we'll return back to our forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, slowly, one vertebra at a time, rolling up the spine, up to a standing pose, shoulders up, back, and down. Palms come out to the side, spreading open, or if you like, Samastiti or prayer pose, hands to heart center. Slight bend in the knees here. We're going to begin our sun salutation series. We're going to move into classical sun salutations with a crescent lunge involved in them. So we'll do 3 rounds of our sun salutations, and then we'll move into our flow for the day. Taking a deep inhale and an exhale out the nose. We're breathing in the nose and out the nose. If you'd like to develop your Ujjayi breath, you can put the top of the back of your tongue to the top of your mouth and just create a slight whisper type noise as you exhale out the nose. And this can start to create and cultivate even more of an internal fire. If you're not looking for that today, feel free to just breathe in and out the nose. Okay. We'll inhale, arms come up to the ceiling. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step back into a plank pose here. Inhale for plank. Exhale, set the knees down and slowly lower down onto the mat, chest and then chin, keeping the hips raised here. We'll inhale, drop the hips, slowly open the heart up and forward, baby cobra. Exhale. We'll do that 2 more times, baby cobra. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, coming down. Flexing the legs, inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhale for plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, bringing the knee to the nose and left foot to left thumb. Dropping the right knee, or setting the right knee down rather. Exhale, we'll take an inhale to really start to develop the strength in both of our legs so we're not just hanging out in our hips. Exhale, and on our inhale, bringing the arms up, saluting the sun, crescent lunge. Inhale, and then exhale, setting the hands right back down, coming back into our plank pose, and inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, our right leg up, same thing. And exhale, right hand to right thumb, setting the left knee down gently. We'll take an inhale here just to prepare our legs. Bringing the knee slightly inward, making sure it's standing over the right ankle. And inhale, the arms up. And exhale, coming back down. Right leg comes back, plank pose. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. We'll inhale here, looking to the front of our mat. Exhale, travel forward to the front. Forward fold, feet hip width apart. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, generous bend. Inhale, slowly rolling up the spine. Hands come up to the ceiling. Exhale, Samastiti, hands to heart center. We'll take this round 2 more times here. Inhaling, arms come up to the ceiling. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hands print around the sides of the mat. And stepping back into plank pose. Inhale for strength. Exhale, lower the knees, lower the chest, then the chin. Hips stay raised. Inhale, plant the hips, and baby cobra. Exhaling back down. Just 2 more times again, really warming up the back. Inhale, and exhale, sitting back down. Inhale, using the arms just a little, and exhaling back down. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling the left leg up. Exhaling, foot comes to left thumb, setting right knee down. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, hands come up. Exhaling, hands frame, stepping back into plank. Inhale for strength. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhaling the right leg. Exhaling, hand to right thumb. Left knee down, inhale, arms come up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands frame foot, stepping back to plank. Inhale here for strength. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal it out here for a few breaths. We're halfway through our sun salve. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, strong step or travel to the front of your mat, hip width apart or your feet. Inhale, half lift. Strong exhale, fold forward. Inhale, roll up the spine, arms lift, hands overhead. Exhale, Samastiti, prayer pose. Inhale here, 1 breath. Exhale. Inhale, sweeping arms overhead. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Planting hands, stepping back into plank pose. Inhale, strong. Exhale, knees, lie down, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, 2 more times. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, sitting down, strong to the back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left hand to left thumb. Setting right knee down. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, arms come up. Exhale, frame the foot, step the left leg back. Plank pose, strong here for a breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg comes up. Exhale, right hand to right thumb, to right foot to right thumb. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, arms come up. Exhale, frame foot, step back into plank. Inhale for strength. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between hands. Exhale, slowly travel to the front of the mat here. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, vertebra by vertebra, all the way to the top. Arms come up. And exhale, hands to heart center. We'll shut down the eyes here if they're not shut down, or soft focus. Really finding the breath, just observing it again here. Seeing that we've already cultivated a really strong practice. Our foundation is set. As we begin to move into even more dynamic movement, we will fill that movement with our breath. Rather, we will move with our breath dynamically into movement. Rooting to the ground, connecting with our heart, the rise and fall of the breath. From here, we're going to inhale up, exhale, a slight bend in the back, reaching backward, chin tucks a little bit. Inhale here, reaching backward. Exhale, hands come to heart center again here. Inhale up, just straight up. Exhale, bend to the right side of the room, stretching through the left side body. You can drop the right hand to the right side, or you can keep it up for more of a strengthening exercise here. Inhale, left side, connecting really strongly through both feet. Exhale, inhale through center. Inhaling up on your next inhale, length, and exhaling to the left side. Strong through both feet, all the way through the right foot to the right hand, stretching, reaching. With each inhale, extending a little farther. Exhaling, strength. Inhale, slowly coming up to the top. Inhaling up and exhaling slightly back. Cactus the arms down and back. Inhale, arms come extending back. Exhaling, coming to the top and folding forward. Uttanasana. Shaking out the lower back here. We'll inhale, our left hand reaches up, our right hand stays to the ground. We open up to the left side, a slight twist here. Inhale, length. Exhale, strength. Inhale, and then exhale, switch sides. Inhaling the right arm up. You might straighten the right leg here for more of a stretch, keeping the spine strong and straight. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, strengthening. Inhaling, and on your next inhale, exhale, coming down, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands, step back into plank pose here. Inhale for strength here. Exhale, right knee comes right beneath the right hip, as if we're starting a tabletop, but the left leg is still extended in plank. We'll open our left hip to the side of the room, anchor our right hand here, bringing our left arm up to the ceiling. Here's our side plank variation. You can look to the side of the room, you can look down to the right hand, you can look up to the left hand. Really keeping strength through the left side of the body. Inhaling the arm forward, exhaling it back down to the mat, back into plank pose. Inhale strong here. We're going to the other side. Lower left knee, open right side of the body here. Arm comes up, strengthening to the right side. Choose your focal point for your gaze. Inhale, arm comes over, and exhale back into our tabletop. Now back into plank pose. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up. And exhale, comes forward. Anjaneyasana, right knee comes down. Inhaling up. Exhaling, hands come to heart center. From here, we're going to take a slight twist to the left. Inhaling strong into the legs. Exhaling, twisting to the left side. The elbow might come over the knee, might not. It might just be a personal twist choice here. Strengthening through both legs. Inhaling, extending. Exhaling, a little deeper, or just strengthen around the spine. Inhale, slowly come out of it. Anjaneyasana. Exhale, plant the right, or open, tent the right foot. Come up into a low lunge here. From here, we inhale up into lunge. Exhaling, strength through the legs here. We're really building the character for this flow. Inhaling, extending. Exhaling, bending the right knee. And starting to go forward onto the left, we bring our right knee inward, tenting on the left foot. As if we're a flamingo. Inhale once. Exhale, stepping the right foot back. Inhale up. Press or lunge. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up. Strengthen in three-legged dog here. Through the hands, let the neck go. Wiggle the foot a little bit, play with it here. And exhaling, downward dog. We're going to move right into the right side. Inhaling, right leg up. Exhaling, stepping through. Low lunge. Anjaneyasana, untuck the left toes. Inhale up. And exhale, hands to heart center, prayer pose. Inhale for strength through the legs. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, length. Exhale, strength. One more here. And on your next exhale, empty it all out. And inhale, untwist slowly. Anjaneyasana. A little bit farther back bend here, reaching to the back. Exhale, bringing hands to frame the right foot. Planting the left leg for our lunge. Lifting the right knee off, strong through both legs here. Inhale for strength. Exhale, inhale, lunge. Inhale, exhale, bend the left knee. Start leaning forward onto the right foot and bring the left knee into the chest here, flamingo pose. You can have your arms wherever you need for stability, just really focusing on engaging the core here with your breath. Lengthening through the spine, strengthening through the spine. Inhale, exhale, left leg comes slowly back, set it down. Inhale, lunge pose, moving right back. Exhale, hands come to frame the right foot. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take 3 breaths here on your own pace. And your third one, let it out of the mouth. Inhale, slowly wave through the spine, back to forward into our plank pose here. We'll tilt forward onto the hands, either lowering the knees or into our chaturanga, tilting the elbows to 90 degrees. We'll take a low plank here. And setting the knees down, upward facing dog, shoulders up, back and down, inhale. And exhale into child's pose, spreading the knees apart, coming to sit right back into our heels here. Taking a few breaths, if you need them. You can stay here, or you can come with us for the final part of this flow. When inhale into tabletop pose here, we're going to take a very similar flow to the last one, but with a little bit more of strengthening options here. Maybe a little ab work too, so your choice here. Strengthen the tabletop. Move the right hand a little bit farther forward, one hand for an even. Open the left leg, tilting or pressing into the back of the left foot. Open the chest, open the hands. This time, right foot meets left foot. We start to put pressure in the right foot on the side. And we bring our hips to the ceiling with each breath, strengthening. To not overextend or hyperextend the right elbow, we give it a little bit of a bend here. Strengthening. And exhaling, plank pose. Same thing on the left. This time you don't have to put your knee down, but you have the option. Inhale, open, hips to the ceiling. Sitting on that left side of the foot here. It's an abnormal thing, so it doesn't feel right. That's okay if it doesn't feel right, as long as it's not pain. Extending, strengthening, and exhaling back into plank pose here. This one we're going to set the knees down lightly. Tabletop, take a few cats and cows here, readying the spine. Inhaling cow, exhaling cat, curling the spine. Inhaling cow, strength, exhaling cat. Inhaling through center. When inhale and exhale here, we're going to tint. I just want to keep saying tint. Our ankles, we're going to come back to sit on our toes here and our ankles. If it's not accessible, you can stay here. We're going to move into our peak pose of the day, camel pose. So for camel pose, I will demo it real quickly here. So we want to stay hips over the knees, right? Never coming back. We don't want to bend here, so we don't want to put too much stress on either our legs or on our lower spine here. So you can start with your feet untucked, or if it feels right, you can start with them tucked, whatever gives you more stability. I'm going to go untucked for now. From here, we inhale strong. It's as if our inner thighs are going outward. We're engaging the glute fully here. We're bringing our knees together as if we're hugging a book between the thighs, pressing into the tops of our feet here. This is all strengthening for our foundation. Breathing up, really feeling elongated through the spine, the heart shining upward and open. From here, you have the option to put your hands on your lower back, holding shoulder blades up, back, and down, strengthening through the legs here. And exhaling, just a hard opener. You can bring the chin to chest even. Just really finding strength so that you can hang out here for a moment, all fully strong. When we come out of it, after our inhale, our exhale, we engage from the bottom of our spine, all around it, slowly, as if we're doing a crunch reverse. We find neutral spine here, and then we come to sit back on our feet to neutralize the lower back here. This is going to be a lot for a lot of people, so if this is as far as you get straight up, if you even just get a little bit of this, as long as you're strengthening, the bend doesn't matter. It's where you're at today. Moving with your breath. You can come in and out as you need. For those of you who might want a little bit more, we'll do another one after this with a different expression possibility. But for all of us, let's come into this position right here. Strengthen knees down into the mat, tops of feet down into the mat, parallel, right behind our knees. Hugging the inward hips together and externally rotating them to start to find the engagement of the glutes and space for the lower back. Inhaling up the spine, heart opens. And exhaling, still being strong here. Finding whatever bend you find for your practice today. Chin can tuck if you need, or if it feels good, you can let it relax. Mouth comes open. Shoulder blades up, back and down. Really strengthening the back here. And coming out of it when you need to, slowly, vertebra by vertebra, from the bottom to the top. We're doing a lot of work here. Take your time. I will demonstrate the next expression of camel pose here. Feel no need to actually move into it. You can keep the same expression or you can rest right here. This is a perfect pose to rest in and still focus. You can almost imagine the bend in your back here or the availability of the spine before you even move into it. Centering breath. This is the next permutation of camel. We tuck the toes, strong through the toes, almost as if we're going to jump, right? That same kind of strength. Hips forward, twisting outward and inward, hugging inward. Hands come to the back here at first, right? Our end point is going to be hands on the heels, keeping the idea that we really don't want to bend just to find our heels. So if you don't find that today, that's fine. Inhaling up, lower back, strength. If you want to let your arms hang and they find the heels, there you go. You can still push the hips come forward, strong through the feet. And you find the heart opening here. Strengthening through the front body and the back body, untucking the toes to come out. Slowly, with strength and control, moving into a seat. Take this expression on your own time if you like. Stay here for a moment in the resting pose when you come out before moving to child's pose, okay? We don't want to shock our spine from such an intense bend by moving quickly the opposite direction. And when you come out of it, out of your seat, you sit onto the glutes, extending both feet forward here. We're really cooling off now. Strong through the feet, stick pose here. Dandasana, I believe. You can press into the ground. You can even walk forward a little bit to get the flesh from underneath your sits bones. Pressing the feet forward and up. Inhaling, arms come up. Exhaling, hinging at the hips. And slowly coming forward. Hands come to rest wherever they need to in order for your spine to maintain strength and not round off here. We're still maintaining strength in the legs, pressing them into the floor, hugging the belly button to the spine. One more inhale and exhale in this strong pose. On your next inhale, preparing for a relaxation version of Padastasana, or Paschimottanasana, forward fold. And exhaling, relaxing and forward fold. Really breathing into the spine here, inviting relaxation, inviting the spine and all the work that it's been doing, all the strengthening of the muscles around it that we've been cultivating to really flow through you on the breath. On your inhale, slowly rolling up the spine to stick pose here, bending the knees, scooching our seat forward, and slowly taking the hands off, inhaling up for strength, exhaling slowly, one vertebra at a time, lowering down. Only on your exhales do you lower down. So you pause on the inhale, exhale, lower down. Inhale if you need to. Exhale slowly, setting the body down on the floor. I'm going to switch around so that my microphone is still being accessible. From here, we move our feet to the width of our mat and let our knees tent inward. You might even windshield wiper a little bit the knees. This is a lower back release for all the stretching and strengthening we've been doing. We're going to take one leg, your choice. Extend it long. I'm going to take the right leg. Then we'll bring our other knee into our chest, hugging it inward. Half wind relieving pose. Really massaging the descending or ascending colon. If you really wanted to focus on the ascending or descending colon and moving wind through our intestines, you would start with the right side and then the left. Inhaling deeply here, letting the leg open like the page of a book, and come down to meet the other leg long. Inhaling, and then bringing the other knee to the chest, hugging it in with the arms, keeping the shoulder blades on the ground here. If you need, because you have a body that wants to come off the ground, you can pick your head up a little bit, tucking your chin to the chest in a Jalandhara Bandha. It's the chin lock to strengthen the neck. So that way we're not creating creases that are uncomfortable or dangerous for our spine. Hug a little bit more. And exhaling, opening like the page of a book. And letting the leg come long here. Shake it out a little bit through both legs. Inhale, both arms overhead. Stretching like we're waking up in the morning. Really engaging all muscles. And on your exhale, engaging all muscles. Really flexing. Inhale, right here one more time. And then exhale, relax. And bring our arms to cactus pose here. And take a few more twists before our Shavasana, or final pose of the day. Bringing both knees up again. The knees are over the feet planted on the floor. We'll take our seat up in the air for just a moment. Move it to the left. And let our knees fall to the right gently. Just an easy twist here. You might let the head come to the left side and look left, or you might let it come to the right, or you might keep it in the center, wherever feels good for you today. This is a passive twist, a passive stretch. You might feel it in the left side of your body, from the left hand through the armpit, the pectoral muscle on your chest, all the way down the left side body, even into the glutes, the IT band, all the way down to the knee and the quadriceps. Just breathing into this space if you feel tension. Exhaling, knowing you've done the work, there's nowhere to go, nothing to be done. One more inhale and exhale here. Your next inhale, bringing both knees back up, picking up the seat, and overly compensating and going to the right side, letting the left and right knee fall to the left. Hands and arms still in cactus. Head chooses its point for comfort in the neck. If you'd really like a little bit more here, you might consider putting the left foot on top of the right knee. Nothing else changes, just left on top of right. Inviting a little bit more of a stretch into the quadriceps, perhaps, to the thigh muscles. Maybe a little bit more in the side body and the IT band area. Really relaxing the shoulders down to the ground. The work is done. One more deep inhale and exhale. Maybe letting it out the mouth. Inhaling, legs come back up. Seat comes to the middle. Exhaling, legs come long. Arms come down to the side, or if you really like them in cactus and you feel like 6 minutes of Shavasana in cactus, you can do that. Here is our final rest for the day. There's nothing else to be done but absorb the practice that you've been a part of, that you have initiated, chosen, invited with your breath. Releasing any tension in the jaw, in the third eye and the eyebrow area between the eyebrows, forehead. Any tension in the neck. Anything you might be holding in the hands or the feet. Just inhaling relaxation to the areas that need it. Exhaling a sense of rest, being held by the ground. Your mind may start to wander, and anytime it does, simply come back to your breath, as if the breath is breathing you, effortless. Begin to notice the surroundings and noises. Still feeling into the breath, cultivating movement in the body slowly, not anticipating nor forcing, just inviting, seeing what comes. Bringing awareness into the legs and the arms, inviting with the breath movement. Awareness into the back, into the front bodies. Awareness to the skull and the muscles around the ears and eyes, the mouth. Awareness to the throat. And awareness to this heart space where we've cultivated intention or space for intention. Moving with and on the breath from this space, slowly coming onto the right side of our bodies, into a fetal position. Take a few breaths here, solidifying our practice in this communal space, enveloping our attention in love, releasing expectation and anticipation. Inhaling and slowly pushing our way up into a seated position comfortably. When you come to seated position, you may inhale into your hands and exhale, place them on a part of your body that needs the love now. Strong through the spine, held by the ground. Inhaling gratitude, exhaling release. We bring our hands to the heart center, one way or the other. We inhale availability. We exhale gratitude. A slight tug of the chin, a bow towards our hands, our inner guide, that which has led us to this space and allowed us to practice. Thank you so much for taking time for you today. Your light shines more and more you let it. Please be with yourself and others as you would be during this practice. Only present, available, listening with the breath. Thank you.